Alright guys, what's up? My name is Matt. I got a complaint today that this 2013 Mack CHU 613 that's hooked up to this 2005 Smithco Side Dump trailer. I gotta call it, everything was working except the side dump itself. So I'm gonna kind of show you guys how to diagnose what's going on. Here's the first thing I do, right? And I've already fixed the issue. It's a kind of common issue, but I'm just gonna show you guys how I diagnose one of these trailers. And this is kind of good to go with any. The heater's on in here. That's why it's so hot. Any trailer hydraulics that uses the same kind of valve. It is just a good diagnostic process. It's easy. Anybody can do it. It's getting real. I don't know if you guys can see this wind, boy, but it's getting windy, boy. So the first thing I do is I hop in the cab and I turn the PTO on. Now this is how we have it set up. I don't know why they have to do it this way. I didn't hook this up. And well, it's gonna work for us. But if you do that and nothing happens, say nothing happens. It's happening right now. That's okay, ignore that. But nothing happens, you don't hear anything, then we know we got a little issue, right? So what you wanna do, if you're over the phone, ask the driver, make sure they've got air going through the trailer, right? Because if they don't, these Smithco side dumps will not work, and I'll show you why in a second. So you might be able to hear this, or you might not. That's this switch right here, which goes to that 4-pin, goes to some air solenoids, and I'm going to show you this right now. So if you hit that switch and nothing happens, here's what I do. Nothing happens. You have air going to the trailer, but nothing happens. Here's what I do. I walk over here to the back. Ignore my hair. There's this valve right here, right? And if it's hit, it dumps the bags. Now, I think this is for like parking purposes or something. I don't know. But we have one driver who flips it on when he's done. I don't know. The other one doesn't. I don't give a shit either way. I prefer they didn't, because when they forget, you know, it's just kind of like I gotta call them and remind them. It's okay. They're great guys though. So anyway, you got to make sure that valve is flipped this way, because if not, it's not gonna let any air go into this tank. Especially if they're just starting that bad boy up and they try doing that, it's all that air's going out. So anyway, the next thing I look, so that air tank goes to these two solenoids, right? If you try that and nothing happens and you don't have any air going out of there, but you have air pressure going to the trailer, and you'll know if you got air pressure going to your trailer, your bags are filled, and your brakes, you know, you released your fucking brakes. If you can drive forward, you know you got good air pressure. So anyway, if you don't hear anything coming out of these two air solenoids, which is, by the way, the air solenoids control they control this valve right here. Let me get under here so I can show you guys. So the air solenoids go to this valve, right? And that valve, you can take this cap off and you can visually inspect it to make sure it's working. That's another video though. And they tell which way they tell the hydraulics which way to go. You know, it activates the valve, and I guess the valve does that, but that's okay. So anyway, if that's not happening, this is usually what the issue is. If you got no air, you don't hear the air going to those solenoids. What you can also do is, if you're working alone, what I do, and I'm working alone always, I take two pieces of paper towel and I will shove them into the exhaust ports of the solenoid, and then I'll hit it one way, because this is if you can't hear it, and then I'll walk out, make sure, and if it's still in there, I'll hit it the other way. If it's still in the other one, we know that the problem is not the air solenoids. The problem's going to be within the 4-pin itself. Now this is your 4-pin. I've already fixed this issue. This is your 4-pin, and it's called that because it's got 4 pins. This is on the truck side, this is on the trailer side. Now everyone always does it differently. This is the first time I've had to work on the 2013 on the Macks. This specific truck's 4-pin, and I'm glad I did, because I took it apart and I found some hanky work done to it. A lot of times the wiring isn't the same. You know what? Because some guy might have the ground on the bottom left pin, the small pin, and the other guy might have it on the bottom right pin, which is the regular size pin. We like to run all our trucks the same, because I'd like the guys to be able to take the 2013 and hook it up to the 2020, you know what I'm saying? Or hook it up to the low boy, or hook it up to whatever, you know? So we run them all the same. When we bought our 2020 Mac and we bought our 2020 Smithco, the wiring was different on that. So the guys at Wagner had to change it. Now I've got everything changed over except the 2013, and now I thought it was changed over, but it wasn't, so now I'm fixing that. So I'm gonna change it up on the truck, not on the trailer. Because if I change the wire the wiring on the trailer, it's gonna be different from the wiring that's on the 2020. It's gonna be different from the wiring. This low boy doesn't have a 4-pin, but either way, we just want it all to be the same. So when our guys hop in, they don't have any issues. You know, last thing I want to do is, you know, fuck my driver over at 5, 6 in the morning. You know, that's the last thing. They're great guys. So what I'll do, and this is just for what I'll do is I will take this 4-pin off, and usually I'll take this one out just so I can see which way it's wired. So we know the little pin is ground, white, and black. And I've already changed it up on this. So we have the little pin is ground, and then white, and then black. So anyway, if you get those the same, it should work. If it doesn't, so if you get that the same and you check, and you have to make sure that you have voltage going to the pin on the 4-pin on the truck. Check that you have voltage on the 4-pin on the truck. And if you do, but you don't have voltage down there, then you know you got a ground issue. So what I would recommend doing is I showed you that ground on the solenoids, on the wiring. It's the top left wiring on that little breaker bar, whatever it's called. Run a new ground if you have to. And once you get that done, if it's still not working, then you know, and you have voltage and everything, then you know you have a problem with your hydraulic system somewhere. And the way I test that is I'll get in the truck, PTO on, all that stuff, and you'll be able to hear the PTO engage. And then I'll idle it up, and then I'll hit it. And then if it'll work after that, then we know that we have a relief in the pump that's going bad, or the pump is going bad, or maybe, never had this happen, but maybe the fittings, we use, I think they're called Pioneer fittings, maybe the fittings are going bad. And it's, I think it's 1 inch in PT. So anyway, that's just how I do it. I'll start uploading videos more as I go on. My hope is that I can help people out with maybe who are in the same position. I'm a heavy equipment mechanic, and going over to trucks, it's been a lot of fun. But there has been a learning curve, you know what I'm saying? It's nice when you get on heavy equipment, you know exactly, you know, I've seen this problem 20 times before. I know what to do. I'm kind of getting there with some of these trucks, so hopefully I'll start uploading videos. Thank you guys. Have a great weekend.